The mayor is denouncing last night's violence while promising a state police investigation. News 13's Chris McKee is live in Old Town this evening near 19th and Mountain, where this shooting happened. Chris?
The city crews took down this Oñate statue that is here outside of the Albuquerque Museum. They took the statue down this morning. The mayor blamed what happened last night mainly on a single person who was supposedly agitating others before shots were fired.
Now, the shooting last night in Old Town at the Oñate sculpture was horrific and unacceptable act of violence. This is something that, despite all of that dialogue, should never happen.
The shooting happened hours after people first gathered near the statue yesterday. It started as a prayer vigil in Tigüe Park around 4 o'clock. A crowd later grew around the statue, with some people trying to pull the Oñate piece down around 8 o'clock. Now, Stephen Baca is awaiting his first appearance for the shooting, which of course left one man seriously wounded who is still in the hospital. Baca has been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. The mayor likened Baca's presence to that of outside groups the mayor says are causing issues at city protests.
These groups are often at protests, and they have been for quite some time, attempting to prop up white supremacy, trying to intimidate those speaking out, and they are armed with weapons. We want to reiterate that weapons have no place in public actions and protests.
Now, take a look at this picture here. Police confiscated more than 20 guns off of 4 people last night, and more than 30 magazines were at that protest as well confiscated. APD is expected to hand the case off to state police soon, and with that, other people could be identified and charged for their role in the protest. The DA's office is also saying that it wants to speak to any other witnesses who were at last night's scene. Back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. The man charged with the shooting last night actually ran for city council last year. News 13's Rebecca Atkins has been looking into his background. She's live from home this evening with more. Rebecca?
Well, Stephen Baca in his campaign for the downtown city council seat said his family has deep roots in Albuquerque. He spoke at a forum last year during the campaign.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Baca. I'm a 5th generation North Valley native.
That was from a City Council District 2 forum last October, and the man speaking is the same Stephen Baca Albuquerque police have arrested for shooting a protester last night in Old Town. Baca says he's a graduate of Valley High School and that his great-grandparents used to run a restaurant and gas station in the North Valley. His campaign website said he wanted to preserve freedom, limit government power, and protect our way of life. Had he been elected, he said he planned to tackle some of the city's biggest issues.
My main top priorities are crime, the homeless issue, and business. First off, the homeless issue and crime are intertwined with each other, but those two affect business, so we have to get a handle on the first two in order for business to prosper.
Baca is also the son of a former Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputy. BCSO says Baca has no connection to the department, that his father stopped working there in 2001. The New Mexico Civil Guard were the men near Baca at the protest who were dressed in camouflage. The group says Baca is not a member of their group and that their guys held him at gunpoint until the police showed up. Now, Baca was also once in the Air National Guard but was dismissed. Back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. Now, we looked through the video and you see that man's gun under his shirt. Baca, the state confirmed to News 13 that Stephen Baca does not have a concealed carry permit. He was not charged for that offense. Well, the statue that drew last night's protesters has been taken down. City crews removed it from the display called La Jornada outside the Albuquerque Museum, depicting the expedition of Spanish settlers and soldiers. One of the sculpture's artists, Reynaldo Rivera, says he signed a waiver allowing the city to take it down to help avoid more vandalism and violence. Other Oñate statues have been vandalized over the years, including one in Rio Arriba County that had its foot cut off in the late 90s. The county took that statue down yesterday for safekeeping. And just today, crews cleaned the spray paint off an Oñate sign that had been tagged at UNM's Oñate home. The controversy over the Oñate statue is rekindling the conversation about what to do with historical monuments that include his likeness.
I'm all for taking him down, and he was not a good guy, Oñate. You know what he did to people. And
I think that if community conversation conversations would have happened. I think the Native American and Hispano communities could come together to decide whether or what would have been appropriate for that.
Juan de Oñate helped colonize New Mexico for Spain in the 1500s, but he did it in a brutal fashion, slaughtering Native Americans, even cutting off their feet. Monuments to the conquistador have drawn criticism for decades. Now, local historians say we are likely to see a fresh look at references to Oñate and other Spanish colonial icons throughout our state.
Folks don't want for New Mexico to be identified or to be glorifying or to be celebrating anyone who was significant in the creation of racial inequality, of genocidal practices.
2 years ago, Santa Fe City councilors voted to abolish the Entrada, a historical pageant showing Spanish conquistadors reclaiming Santa Fe from the natives.